this season, we have seen a couple wide receiver trades throughout the NFL, the league, if you will. And I kind of want to touch on it. Amari Cooper, Browns wideout, gets traded to the Bills. The Bills searching for a wide receiver one. They don't have it. They got rookie Keon Coleman, hasn't met their expectations. They got Khalil Shakur. Hasn't really done much but 1 week. He's been all right. But the Bills traded for Amari Cooper. They traded a 2025 third-round draft pick and a 2026 seventh to the Browns for Amari Cooper and a 2025 sixth-round draft pick. Now, the stats on the year for Amari Cooper are, I think they got pretty good value for this. It's 24 receptions, 250 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Side, is he a wide receiver? Is he going to be a good wide receiver one, a serviceable wide receiver one for the Bills? Something brief real quick, and I'll keep going with the wide receivers. But
if you want my honest opinion, when I saw this trade happen, I was like, this is going to be exactly what this Bills offense needs. We all know what Amari Cooper has done in the past. We know what he was with the Cowboys. We know what he was even just last year. Amari Cooper has proven to everybody, and I mean like to everybody, that he can be the wide receiver one. This year, has numbers looked good? No, not at all. Is his quarterback Deshaun, dare I say his last name, Deshaun Watson? Yes. So it hasn't been great. It hasn't been pretty. It's a rental, yes, but it's such a win-win because Amari Cooper needed to be anywhere but Cleveland, and the Bills desperately needed somebody who has at least in his past been a wide receiver one. There you go. This gives Josh Allen a actual, like, no hate on Khalil Shakir, no hate on Keon Coleman, no hate on Dawson Knox or Dalton Connect or like whatever. I can't remember the other tight end's last name. They both look the same, but like Kincaid. Like, no disrespect on them. James Cook and Josh Allen have respectfully been carrying this Bills offense. Their defense has been better, but it hasn't been the greatest. I would say that defense is bang on the buck average. But with how not great and not pretty looking the AFC East is, when you look at what the Jets did, which I'm sure we're going to get to, the Bills had to answer back somehow.
So let's talk about it.
So I'm not done yet. Oh, okay, I got a couple more things. I got a couple more things to say.
Sorry. Oh,
this allows Josh Allen to get a bona fide receiver one who can go sideline to sideline and catch any ball that Josh Allen's going to throw to him. But why I love this move is not that, Amari Cooper's in Buffalo. It's the fact that Keon Coleman can now get off the outside, move to the slot where he is going to do miles better, because he hasn't been great when he's getting put on the outside. He's frequently not getting a great jump or not running a great route, or just he's unlucky when he's on the outside. Put him in the slots. Keon Coleman's going to be 20 times better, which means Josh Allen's going to be even better. It's when a QB has more than one consistent target, it makes the offense better, it makes the quarterback better, and it's going to put a lot less pressure on that defense, which has its moments where it struggles. So yes, is Amari Cooper going to do great? Yes. Is there a way now where he can get near 1,000 yards and hopefully 6 to 7 touchdowns? Yes. Is Keon Coleman now actually going to show his strengths and why the Bills were so high on him? Yes. Is this also going to take less pressure off Khalil Shakir, who can now pair on the other side of Amari Cooper? Yes. And then James Cook going to keep doing James Cook things. He's going to get you 70 yards on the ground. He's going to catch you 30 yards in the air. Like, this is what the Bills needed. You may continue.
Perfect. So let's talk about it. 30 years old, Amari Cooper is. I like the way he put it. It's a little rental. It's nothing long term.
It's nothing long term.
So let's talk about another receiver that could potentially be long term. Might be a rental, but he's also up there in age. Now, Davante Adams from the Raiders has a couple weeks out because of injury. He gets traded to the Jets. Now, I'm so glad he didn't go to the Saints. So glad he didn't go to the Saints.
I'm actually with you on that.
God!
It would have not been great.
If we would have traded a second-round draft pick for him, I would have been so mad. Ugh! But he goes to the Jets. Raiders, they get a conditional third-round pick. Now, listen to these conditions for this third-round pick. If Davante Adams gets first or second team All-Pro, or if he is on the active roster for an AFC Championship game or the Super Bowl, this pick goes from a third to a second for the 2025 draft. But this is for this season only. The chance of Davante Adams becoming a first team or second team is kind of low because he's missed 3 games. If he makes it, that's pretty good. But his stats on the year, a little bit less than Amari Cooper because he's played less games. 18 receptions, 209 yards, and a touchdown. How do we feel about this move? Be a little brief, so we don't take too much time. I got a big hook at the end, so just be a little brief. Tell me what you think about it.
This is exactly what every single NFL executive, fan, and coach expected to happen, and you can't tell me otherwise. It was beyond clear. Davante wasn't happy in Vegas. He went to Vegas to win, but he went to Vegas to win with Derek Carr. That didn't happen. Derek Carr's not there. Bad quarterback play last year, and then they go, oh, we're gonna bring in Gardner Minshew. Minshew mania. That's the answer. But it wasn't. Bad quarterback play with a star wide receiver like Davante Adams. Yes, he's getting up there in age, but when you look at all the intangibles, it's obvious he needs to get out of there. Ring, ring, ring. Aaron Rodgers basically runs the New York Jets, so of course he was going to say, give me Davante back. We want to win, give me Davante back, which is extremely disrespectful on Gary Wilson. I just want to make that very clear because I could go miles and miles on that, but everyone saw this coming. The fact that the freaking Raiders only got a third-round pick in return, though, yes, it can be a second-rounder. It's probably not going to be a second-rounder, but I feel like there should at least been another day 3 pick tagged along because you know what Davante Adams can do when he's on his A game. But we'll have to see. Can he fit in with that Jets offense? Can Aaron Rodgers prove that he's not washed up? We can only see.
Okay. So I want to preface before I get to the hook that you're waiting for. Amari Cooper is a 5-time Pro Bowler. Davante Adams is a 3-time first-team All-Pro, 6-time Pro Bowler, and he's a 2-time NFL receiving touchdowns leader for a couple seasons. Now, I gave you the trade information. Amari Cooper, 3rd and a 7th for him. Davante Adams, conditional 3rd, can turn into a 2nd. But let's look at what happened at the beginning of the season. The Philadelphia Eagles were looking to round out their wide receiver core to build their team that could potentially make a Super Bowl run because they've been on a little dry spell, if you will, since they made it with old Jalen Hurts. Now, the Eagles traded for 2022 first-round draft pick Jahan Dotson. So they gave the Commanders a 2025 third, and 2 2025 7th-round draft picks. And the Eagles got Jahan Dotson in a 5th. But if you look at Dotson's stats, he's only got 6 receptions, 35 yards, and no touchdowns. So we can confidently say that the Eagles kind of overpaid for the wide receiver based on the trades that we've just seen this past week. Did the Eagles get fleeced? What happened here? Did they overpay? And what can we see in the future for Jahan Dotson? Because he's got high upside. He's first round pick, and he's only 24.
I was really hoping we were going to talk about this. All right. When this trade happened, I talked to a few Eagles fans. They were like, yes, this is awesome. This is great. He's going to fit so great in this offense. He's the perfect wide receiver 3. Because at the time, I couldn't tell you who was wide receiver 3 at the time before Jahan Dotson came in. Why I have now such an issue with this, and how in this very moment at 7:31 on October 17th, why this looks like a massive win for the Commanders, is because what has Jahan Dotson done for this Eagles offense? Let's think about it. Nothing. And you're telling me this is the same Eagles team that for multiple weeks this season had no A.J. Brown and no Davante Smith? And you're telling me that Jahan Dotson, who is a clear-cut wide receiver 2 with the Commanders before this trade, who has shown that with a good quarterback can have wide receiver 1 upside. You had 2 weeks at least where you were the wide receiver 1. You were the top dog, and there's nothing. Not a single thing you have shown. Yes, he's young. He's like, what, 24 years old? He's young. He's only been in the league for 2 years. Is there potential for this to eventually be a good trade? Yes. Right now, does it look like a good trade? Absolutely not. Because A.J. Brown and Davante Smith are back. Jahan Dotson's not a part of this offensive game plan at all. He is, at best, the 5th option on that team right now. At best. Like, good day, 5th option. 6 touchdowns for 35 yards does not show me the ceiling. Does not show me the potential. So, that's all I really got. Just Commanders didn't need him. Got some picks. Eagles are like, yeah, we can utilize him, and that's yet to happen. And if it hasn't happened yet, I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, that's why they say the early bird gets the worm. Because before everything's said and done, you make a deal. Teams desperate like the Eagles wants to round off their team, try to make a Super Bowl run, like I said earlier, and the Commanders caught them at desperate times. Oops. Got a little bit more for Jahan Dotson than they probably did. And look, you got Jaden Daniels now balling out. It looks like it doesn't matter what this receiver he throws to. He threw a 40-yard touchdown to Diami Brown. When's the last time you heard that guy's name, Si?
Like 2022.
I mean,
Been a couple years, but we've heard the name. The name,
yeah,
the name's been around the streets.
It's just looking like maybe the Commanders are just putting all their eggs in the basket, but they're trusting their rookie quarterback. They're saying, hey, we can afford to trade Jahan Dotson, even though we spent a first-round draft pick on him. Let's get what we can for him, and then keep building around your 2024 Offensive Rookie of the Year, Jaden Daniels.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I could sit here and talk about Jaden Daniels all day.
Oh, we know.
But I just wanted to get a little bit of wide receiver talk before we get into what I actually want to talk about.
I would one last little tidbit on the Eagles depth chart. Dotson's still starting, yet guys like Johnny Wilson and Paris Campbell are arguably doing better than him on this team.
Oh yeah, they did get Johnny Wilson, didn't they?
6th round. He's done a little bit, but he hasn't done a lot. But I mean,
I'm curious to see if he's doing better than Keon Coleman. Probably not, but
probably not. Nah, I can tell you that as a fact right now, he's not.
Yeah,
but
it's just cool.
Yeah, it's Jahan Dotson hasn't done anything.